And we need ongoing support. Just because we've left the hospital doors doesn't mean that the care and the healing stops. And we need to discuss these issues. And not just that, I believe that there are very valuable life lessons that someone who has gone through cancer can share to people who have not been touched by cancer. These are simply lessons in how to lead a better life. And that's what we're discussing here. So it's not just about, of course, addressing the fears that you have. Will it come back? When will it come back? How do I feel going in for a blood test? And those are very important issues that need to be addressed. And I myself feel them all the time because I'm, of course, living with a blood cancer. But also, we need to address, as I said, what does this new life look like? You know, we need to address how am I going to rebuild emotionally? How am I going to relate to the world? And what do I have to share? Because honestly, I've been through something, again, which is very profound, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to call it a gift or sugarcoat it or, you know, try to pass it on to anyone else. But for me, it has been a significant experience where I've grown so much as an individual, and that I realized that what I can do now, having come out the other end, and also benefited from so many people's support, from friends, from well-wishers, from other cancer survivors, from people around the world who gave me incredible support, the unsung heroes, the nurses that I came across, the people who sat by my bedside. Whenever I asked them, what can I do now? What do you recommend? Now that I'm on my feet and back in the world, they said, pay it forward. All you can do is help the next people, or share your story, and try to enrich people's life in some way. And that's all that I can do. I'm not an expert fundraiser. I'm not an expert in the medical sphere, but I can share my story and lend my support and just hopefully lend a little bit of hope in the world as so many people are fighting this disease, and that we need to understand that it's also easily prevented. And please look at a cancer survivor through a different spectrum. These are great warriors. And they have so much to share beyond just what they've been through physically. There is such a deep emotional and psychological transformation. They have a lot to share with the world, and let's give them a platform from which they can share that. And thank you, Devika, again, for being behind this. And thank you, Shona, as well, for organizing this incredible conference. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you so much, Leela. Straight from the heart, profound words. Great support, encouragement for the women, as you call them, warriors. May I now ask Shona Nag, my sister in arms, to say a few words about how this conference came about and what to look forward at this conference to.
Thank you, Devika, and thank you all for coming here today. This conference is in its 4th year right now, and it began with very simple sessions. This is first of all a collaboration between the Women's Cancer Initiative in Mumbai from the Tata Hospital and the Nag Foundation in Pune. The content of this conference has evolved over the last years, and we have introduced a lot of new things. Last year we had a panel for the survivors. We had lawyers, we had NGO workers, and the patients or the survivors could actually question what their rights were. This year, for the first time, we have introduced addressing the fear of relapse. Now, every woman is worried, is my disease going to come back or not? And to address this, we have a special panel this year. We also have lectures from very important oncologists on treating and living with disease that has spread outside the breast. So we are trying to attack more and more real issues. As you know, in India, we don't talk about anything openly. So this is a forum where women can come together and share. Thank you.
Shona, thank you so much. I now open this conference for any questions that you would like to ask any of us on the dais. Can we have one mic which would be out there? Anybody would like to ask any questions? Can you pass the mic out? Yes. If you just stand up और आप कह सकते हैं आप कहाँ से हैं और किसको क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं आप खड़े हाँ thank you.
Actually, I am from media and I write for Radiance News and Bollywood Boss. I just don't know whom to just address, but any of you just can answer this. Like this breast cancer, I mean, say the ladies who are just living in the rural areas, that is the most difficult task to bring awareness among them. So what your organization is doing in this regard this?
If you will see in the room next door, probably 60% of the women who are sitting there are Marathi and Hindi and Gujarati speaking. We have made it a point to actually, the Women's Cancer Initiative with Tata Hospital supports the treatment of nearly 500 of these women who come from the lower socioeconomic strata. We make it a point to invite them to this conference, to be part of it. Every month we have support group meetings and we create this awareness. We ensure that either we reach out to them into the interiors or we bring them to our conferences, and if you go there and you speak to them, you will realize from where they're coming and how we are doing these awareness programs, detection programs. I'll pass this on to Shona and she will explain to you from Pune what they are doing.
First of all, the incidence of breast cancer in rural India is much less than that in the urban cities. That's the first thing you need to remember. The incidence of 1 out of 25 women in the cities will get breast cancer during their lifetime. 1 out of 65 to 70 will get it in villages. That's the first point. Second, the participation of this conference is Mumbai, Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad, Ahmednagar and Goa. So these are the 6 places that are taking or participating in the conference.
Well, Malaika and Liza, since both of you are actors from Bollywood and both of you are a public figure as well, so like being a public figure, do you think that there is some kind of responsibility among the people who are the celebrities to just bring awareness in such kind of things?
Yes, I'll start. I believe I have a personal responsibility, but it's a very different for me because it's been a personal experience. I'm a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer, in 2009, and is considered incurable. So I'm actually living with this condition. And as I said, obviously it's transformed my life on so many levels that part of it is, I don't want to say just responsibility. As I said, I feel that I received so much support because I went public with my cancer diagnosis. I received so much support from people all over the world, but specifically from India, that it made me think that if such a simple thing of just talking about being diagnosed openly can help people, then I will continue talking. I will continue sharing my story as much as possible. And so obviously I feel a very personal connection with the cause of cancer, and I've been doing as much work as I can for the last 5 years.
Malaika, speak how Bollywood can be like helpful in.
I think I don't speak for myself. I mean, right now me being here, but I think whether you're talking about the film industry or anybody connected, I think everybody does come forward in some way or the other to lend their support. I think cancer is something that has affected everyone's life in some way. May not be you personally, but it does. Whether it's a family member, a friend, a relative, somebody. So there is that to connect with everybody. So you feel the need to come out and do your bit. And I think, like Lisa said, I mean, I don't think you need to be standing on a rooftop screaming your lungs out about what you're doing. I think it's in your own way, however you can come out, in whichever way you can come out and lend your support. I think that is what is important. And in today's day and age, there's so much that is available to you. There's so much knowledge. There's so much that's going on out there. I think it would be rather insensitive and stupid for you to sit back and do nothing about things that affect your life at such a closed level. So I think everybody should come forward and help in some way and support in some way.